All right, hi sixth graders. Today we are going to be learning about the word terms. And terms are parts of an algebraic expression. So we've been learning about algebraic expressions. We've written them. We've turned algebraic expressions into math sentences, so ELA into math. We have then used substitution to evaluate, and now we're going to figure out what are terms and how do they apply to algebraic expressions. So terms are the parts that make up the math sentence. So terms are the parts that make up the math sentence. They can be numbers, they can be letters, they can be the operations. So they are numbers, if it's a numerical expression, or if it's an algebraic, it will have numbers, and it is not how you spell numbers, Miss Englander, but numerical works. Okay, numbers, numerical, both of them work. Okay, they're either numerical or algebraic. Algebraic means that they have letters. So variables and operations. All right, so when we are looking at the word terms, we will be identifying the numbers, the variables, and the operations of a sentence. So they're the parts that make the sentence. It's like when you're making a recipe and you need certain ingredients to make that recipe. Without the terms, you can't make a math sentence. Without your certain ingredients, you can't make your recipe. They all work together. Okay, so what in the world does this mean? So we have different types of terms that are in an algebraic expression. So I'm going to write this out. This is a really important model. You're going to want to have this model written out. And the reason why you're going to want to have this written out is because this model is like the basics of all algebra. Okay, so make sure that you have this written down because we're going to use all these different parts as we go through and learn about algebra. So there's my addition sign. And last but not least, I need my green. Where is my green? My green has gone missing. Oh no, my green is missing in action. Oh, there it is. Okay, ready? The last constant, the last number is a 4. Okay. Whew, that was a close one. We almost lost the green. Okay. We have the first digit here. This one here, this is called the coefficient. The coefficient is really important. Okay, it's always attached to a letter, always. A coefficient cannot do its job without a letter. So a coefficient is like a co-worker. It needs somebody to work with it. Okay, so the 5 is a coefficient. It cannot do its job without having a partner. Okay, the coefficient, it says that it's a 5. It's not really a 5. It's an imposter. Okay, this 5 is going to be something different because it's attached to its coworker. And this coworker is going to tell it what to become. So it could be a 10 if it tells it to multiply by 2, because a number stuck to a letter means multiplication. If this P was a 6, it would be 30. So this 5 is not really a 5. It's a fake 5. Okay, so the coefficient is a number that works with a variable. A number that works with a variable. It will never be alone. Okay, so this is a co-worker. Okay, co and co, they go together. Co. Okay, all right, the P. The P is a variable. This is algebra. It's not algebra unless it has a variable. And a variable we know from the past is a letter that's a placeholder. Okay, so this is a placeholder. The letter that holds the place of a number. It changes. It's going to change. It will not always be the same. So this number here will change often. Okay, so keep that in mind. This number will not always be the same number. And then we have operations. Here's our operations right here. Operations, these separate the terms. So this is one whole term. 5p, that is one whole term. This is a term. Without this 5p, I don't have this expression. Without this 4, I don't have this number sentence. This operation here just separates the parts of the terms. Okay, so it just separates the terms for us. It helps us like make our list, our shopping list. So the operations are going to be things like adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Okay, all of those are operations, and these separate the terms. So they separate, let's spell that wrong. Does it separate the terms? Like a comma. Okay, so they work like a comma. All right. The last part of our algebraic expression that we have is this number right here. This is called a constant. Okay, this is a constant. The reason why the 4 is called a constant is because it is always going to be a 4. If this were a 6, it's always going to be a 6. It's constantly what it says it's going to be. It never changes. The 5 over here is going to change. He shows up as a 5, but he's not staying a 5. This 4 is going to show up as a 4, and you can count on him to always be a 4. Okay, so this 4, if I said give me 4, you'd be like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I said give me 5p, you'd be like, what? I don't know what that means. This is constant. We can always count on this number to not change. So this number does not have any outside influences on it changing its behavior. None. it's always going to be a 4. So the constant is a term without a variable. Okay, the value of it never changes. Okay, those are the different parts of terms, the terms that we have. Okay, so let's look at how would we sort these? So if you were asked to identify the terms, so if you were told identify the terms, you would have to put them into their categories, okay? So identify the terms. Let's say I had something that looked like this. 5x plus 13 plus y. Okay, now it wants us to identify the terms. Let's say it wants us to identify the constants, coefficients, and variables. It's just asking us to sort these things. It just wants us to sort these things into their piles. So we're just going to organize them. Okay, so let's start with the word terms. So terms. Our terms the terms. This whole thing stuck together, that is a term. So 5x, that's a term. It's separated by the operation that makes a comma. This 13 is a term. That one is a term. It's separated by the operation that makes a comma. The y. The y is a term. Again, it's separated by the operation. Okay, so these each make up this algebraic expression. If I got rid of this y, I would not have the same math sentence. I need this y to make this sentence. Okay? All right, the next one let's look at is the coefficients. So coefficients. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Coefficients. Okay, coefficients. Coefficients are the co-workers, the co-captains, the co-pilots. These are the ones that show up as imposters. They are not who they say they are. Okay? So in this expression here, you have one right here, which is a 5, and you have another one. And this one's super sneaky. This one's showing up with the y, and we don't even see it because it's one y. We have one y right there. They just don't write the 1. So we have to add it in there. Okay? Those are coefficients. We've used them. We will not use those numbers again. They are done. We will not use those numbers again. Okay. Now we have constants. So our constants were blue, so let's do constants in blue. All right, our constants. The constants are the ones who say they're going to be who they are. They're constantly reliable, dependable. It is the 13. The 13 is a constant. I can't use this one again. I've already used it. So the 13 is gone. I can use it as a term and I can use it as a constant because it is a term. Terms are the parts, and this is the type of part that it is. Okay, and last but not least, we have, oh, I did that in the wrong color. That should have been green. You guys pretend this is green. I'm so sorry. Okay, those are constants. There you go. Now it's green. Okay, so there's your constant. That's sneaky green today, man. Okay, and last but not least, we have our variables. Okay, the variables are the letters. The variables are just the letters. So that's all we're going to do. We're just going to circle them and we're going to write them. And that is your lesson on terms. Each of these are terms. These are the parts. These are the types of terms that they are. So these are the types. And all of those are the terms. And then we just sort them out. That's it. That's all you do. Okay, I want you to go ahead and rate yourself right now. Where's your understanding? This is just our introduction lesson. So where is your understanding right now around terms? How are you feeling about this vocabulary right now? And I want you to answer your essential question. What are terms? And then I want you to go over to Google Classroom and see what your practice work is for today. Ask any questions that you might have in the Google Meet. And as always, make it a great day the Cougar way.